Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm Ekamac. This is definitely the finale of Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. In the last episode, all the plot hooks hit us at the same time. The fact that this game, the sequel to this game, took I think it was like a decade before it got localized. Oh man, I feel for you Trails fans. Anyway, Josh was feeling beat up, so he's playing his harmonica. Hey Estelle. Nice night, isn't it? Yeah. That song again. The Whereabouts of Light. I've lost a lot. But this song and this harmonica have always been with me. I've been thinking about why I play it. Maybe it's a habit I should quit. I think I want to tell you what I was doing before I met you. Joshua! Okay. This may take a while. Do you mind? Not at all. I'll listen to whatever you have to say. Thank you. Once upon a time, there lived a little boy all by himself. He was this timid sort, relying on the kindness of others without a single redeeming trait. But he had people who cared about him. He had people who he cared about with him, so he was happy. One day something happened that broke his heart. He forgot how to speak, to feel, even to eat. All he could do was play his harmonica. No matter how hard his caretaker tried, nothing helped his heart to mend, and he grew weaker by the day. One day, a wandering magician appeared before the boy. "I will heal the boy's heart for you," he said. "Provided, of course, I am compensated." And so the boy was given over into the magician's care. As he attempted to piece the broken heart back together, the magician found he could shape the boy's existence into anything he wished. And so the boy's new heart became that of a murderer. For 2 years, the boy killed every single day. Under cover of night, he murdered dozens of soldiers. He slit the throat of a national cabinet minister who was under a heavily armed guard. Sometimes he used explosives which maimed and killed innocent bystanders. At some point he became regarded as something more than a mere killer. He was known as the Black Fang, and the name struck fear into the hearts of men. One day, the magician gave the boy an assassination order. His target was a hero, a man who had protected his queen and nation from the threat of an invading northern country. He was a bracer who held a special rank shared only by 3 others in the entire land. But the target was too strong. He defeated the boy with all the ease of a tiger swatting at a playful cub. At that moment, some of the magician's servants showed up. Since the boy's face had been seen, he was now a loose end to be tied up. But someone came to his aid and drove the attackers away. It was, of course, the man he had come to kill. And so the boy was taken to the man's house where he met a young girl. He lived there for 5 years, always feeling like it was lost in some wonderful dream. In the real world, he would never be allowed to have such dreams. But all dreams must end at some point. The time was drawing near when reality could no longer be avoided. That's the end of my story. Thank you for being patient with me and listening. Was that all that real? Every syllable. My heart is broken. My hands will always be stained with blood. I failed in the assassination of your father. I've been betraying you for a long time. The boy can't be saved from his real purpose. His presence alone seems to bring disaster and misery. He's just tainted. But the boy set out on a journey in hopes that he may keep his misfortunes from the ones he holds dear. He will find and stop the foul magician who created the life he has led. What? That's the last remnant of my human heart. I won't be needing it anymore, but I want you to take it. It's hardly an adequate way to thank you for the last 5 years, yet I can't think of anything better. Stop it. What? I said stop it! Stop talking about it like it's a dream! You make it sound like nothing that's happened to you was even real to you. What difference does the past make? Your heart is broken, what does that even mean? Estelle. Look at me! Look into my eyes! I've always seen that boy. In good times and bad. No matter how much the boy was hurting, I always saw how hard he'd keep holding on. Joshua, I love you! You can't just leave me on my own. My feelings won't just go away when you do. I won't let you. Estelle. Huh? Oh. Joshua. What was that? It's so bitter. It's just a fast-acting sedative. Don't worry, there are no side effects. Ugh. Why? Damn it, we should have given her the Grail locket back! Why did you? Estelle, you shine like the sun. My time with you was the happiest and the most painful I've ever known. Just as the brightest light casts the darkest shadow. If you stayed with me, you'd find out just how disgusting my true nature is. Sometimes I think it would have been better if we'd never met. Oh. This time is different. I'm grateful you came to see me. I hate that I have to run from a girl who's so important to me, but it's all I can do. I want you to know I'll always be thinking of you. Joshua. Thank you for everything. You had me from the first moment I met you. I've always loved you. Bye, Estelle. Legend of Heroes, Sora no Kisuke FC. The thing is that I'm still not crazy about the Joshua Estelle ship, but mainly because of all the nonsense with everyone else. If they could have kept it just to them, then it wouldn't have been so bad. Actually, I'm just going to shut up and let the cinematic play. Huh. I guess these cinematic part of the credits are going on a lot longer than I thought. Complete Chapter 4. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky First Chapter, Finn. After saving clear data, you may load it from the title screen to begin a second playthrough with various statistics carried over. Sure, let's do it. So yeah, thoughts on the game outright. I guess I'll just address that thing that I started saying. It feels rather dirty that after a scene like that would still say, I'm not really that crazy about it. But here's the thing, it's not so much the ship itself. If it was just Estelle and Joshua, and they sort of cut out any sort of mention of, well, he's like a brother to me, or we're practically siblings, it would have been better. If we didn't have everyone and their mother saying, well, why aren't they banging yet? Oh, this isn't an opening cutscene, this is a big preemptive trailer. Estelle sets out on a new journey to bring him home. The faint of tolling of a distant bell indicates the dawn of a new era. A time of conspiracy and calamity. More trials await the men and women of the liberal kingdom. New journeys. Special characters. Peculiar artifacts. One epic adventure. Reaching, grasping for that familiar melody, marching ever onward. Well, plotting out the trails of destiny once more. Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Okay, sure, add a movie tab that'll send us straight back to that advertisement, why not? So yeah. The fact is that with how all the other characters are insisting on it, it just makes me want to hype Backlash, refuse out of spite because I don't like how they're bodying Estelle and Joshua. And yeah, I can't help but think of... it feels a bit... Plus they both refer to Cassius's dad, at least until that final stretch. It's just not fair. Also not fair is that this game took a very long time to get localized, so people had to sit on that cliffhanger forever. Yikes. So then the game itself. I think that the world building is really cool. I think the gameplay itself is pretty great. The augment system lets you be creative. The problem is that then you realize that if you aren't using action and cast on everyone, then you're going to have some severe penalties in battles because enemies move way faster than you do. The fact that it's very inconsistent whether certain enemies will be vulnerable to death blows or not, or really any statuses in general. Using Chaos Brand to confuse enemies worked really great at the end there, but then you have the boss who's immune to absolutely everything, even things that haven't been immune to up until this point, like Chloe's ability to debilitate, and the ability to cancel arts and, well, cancel crafts. I feel like crafts have been cancelable up until now. The final boss is not fair, and I feel like once you get into Chapter 3, around the time you visit the Tetrasilic Tower, a lot of the bosses just feel like unfair, just feel rigged against you and not fair. Now of course that could be me playing on the medium difficulty, but I feel like that a medium difficulty shouldn't be this poorly balanced. Party balance isn't great either. Chloe is just way too good. Her ability to... She only gets like 3 things, and yet her S-Craft is busted, her Debilitate is busted, and she has the ability to impede arts. Whereas you've got characters like Tita who are made of paper mache, or you've got Aga who's forced to he either goes undercooked for his augment, or you have to give him a defense debuff, which makes him actually kind of fragile. And then, I didn't realize that Shira was quite that strong, but I don't know whether she'd have been better for that final battle because Olivia being able to interrupt people from across the room was kind of important. But yeah, starting with the Intelligence Division boss fight on top of the tower, it felt like a lot of boss fights were just obnoxious. Because attack delay is something that... Actually, yeah, there's another thing. The final boss is immune to attack delay, and that's garbage. But yeah, as I was saying, it started with those guys, and then you've got the Penguin King. The tournament isn't so bad, but then everything after is going to be high level of pain. The difficulty just isn't well balanced in this game. Which means that even though the core gameplay is cool, the actual gameplay as a whole isn't. I also have slight problems with how they set up the BP. Like, it does give this feeling of you're actually earning your way to a top-ranked bracer. But so often I would end up being frozen and worried about what the actual answer is. And then I make a guess and so often I'd be wrong, and so I'd have to cancel out and restart the whole thing. And they actually did a really dirty job of hiding collectibles. I can only assume the reason people... And then there's Carnelia. They here do Carnelia way too well. It unlocks our ultimate weapons perhaps, but still. Carnelia is just lucky it's a really good book. I feel like there are things about the story that I don't jive with that well. But there are also things that are pretty cool. Stella is a good protagonist. She's probably one of the she's one of the tomboys I would cut a pass for, but that's simply because she's fun. I like making fun of her, although I don't like how I don't like how 90% of the jokes about her seem to be, well, you're a girl. Man, I guess my opinion on this game is really all over the place. And all that said, I also have to talk about this project as a whole. I don't think this is my best project. I started this up because I wanted to have a long grind project. Something that I could always come back to whenever I needed filler. Something to just record and then edit and then throw in. But then, Chapter 2 happened and I realized I was behind on chests. And so I had to basically search the entire chapter, and I just didn't feel like that. And then my laptop died years back and I didn't have the ability to dual screen, so that didn't go too well. But then I got a new laptop specifically for this project, And then Nico B announced his start of the game. And so that added a lot of pressure. I feel like I did rush the game quite a bit trying to keep ahead of Nico B because it made my work feel inadequate and obsolete. But I've at least gotten this grindstone off my back. Am I going into second chapter? Yes. But I think I'm going to at least do another project before I jump into it. Because it's entirely possible that with a cliffhanger like that, Nico B is going to jump straight into it. I wouldn't blame him, because I'm doing exactly the same. So whether or not he has a break between projects is going to determine whether I can subscribe back to him or not. But that's all petty personal stuff. This game is a mess, but I can see why people like it. And with all that off my chest, until next time guys, take care, I'll see you all around.